Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the daily Link to the Past randomizer race. Tonight we are bringing you an open mode race. We have about 20 or so runners total. We're fitting 4 of them on screen, including Chirality, NY Rambler, Yalfto, and Jay Meisher. I am Drosy1, as NY Rambler is kind of advertising, and I'm here with Yoko. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
So, for those of you who might be new to ALTTP Randomizer, open mode is kind of the most popular mode to play, where you start with Zelda already rescued, so that leaves the game a bit more open. You can start from either Link's House or Sanctuary, and then you work from there, finding items and figuring out what dungeons you need to beat to get the 7 crystals to unlock Ganon's tower and go defeat Ganon. We should be getting underway momentarily here.
Just waiting for those 5 red lights and to go dark.
I wonder, though, since there are 2 big keys in the hash tonight, are the big keys going to be in bad locations, or are they going to be in vanilla locations?
Could it be a jet seed, or do we have to check pedest, or will it be one of those seeds where we have to check pedest?
Yeah, you never know. Could be an Agaseed.
Haven't seen one of those in forever.
Oh, we've had quite a few in the tournament lately. But the tournament's been winding down, so this is going to be your ALTTPR fix for a bit until the league starts up.
I think they're, in the semifinals now for the tournament?
Yeah, I think so. And we see...
And we got bombs in Link's house, and didn't quite get the chest.
It was 100 rupees in the Sanctuary, and it looked like regular crystals in all 3 Light World dungeons.
Yep, that's what I saw too.
So already seeing some divergence. Our bottom 2 runners are both checking the Uncle area, while Chirality is going for Lost Woods.
And Rambler looks like...
Rambler looks like he's joining Chirality.
Right. Tree pulls just hearts today.
And Uncle and his chest are both a big 20.
At least that'll come in handy for the bottle vendor. Where the mushroom is, it's 10 arrows, piece of heart in the thieves'
Now, Chirality is in an interesting position because they're the only one who didn't check Link's house, so they're now going into Kakariko without bombs.
True. There's also that shop where they can buy bombs in Kakariko Village.
Yeah, but then you're potentially forfeiting your bottle vendor money.
True. So let's see the route that they take. Alright, we're going into the back of the bar. 20 rupees there.
And it looks like Lumberjack is vanilla today, so our runners will not be going in there again. We do have a Cane of Burna in Blind's Hut, as well as... Was that the Ice Rod?
No, that was 5 rupees. That is the Ice Rod.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's hard to tell color on some of these screens.
With the blue mail in the back. So Rilla are getting blue mail. Charity picking up 50 more rupees from the chicken hut.
Okay, so that makes up for what he spent on bombs.
And the single hour from the bottle vendor.
Oh, I was going to say that we had our other rod sitting in the well, so Kakariko has both rods today, which means Turtle Rock is almost certainly a pendant. So now the runners are kind of covering each other's ground. They'll all eventually get 2 rods, blue mail. Ooh, Mishra missed that bomb toss. And a goodly amount of rupees. But so far, no heart containers.
A lot of heart pieces.
Yeah, a lot of vanilla heart pieces like Lumberjack in the back of the well there.
Right.
Looks like bottle vendor. Oh, right, you said that.
Right.
That he sold an exquisite arrow of destiny.
And the book on top of the vanilla book.
Yeah, getting off to quite a vanilla start today. It'll be interesting to see if that book is needed. Could be our access to desert, depending on when the flute and the mirror show up.
True.
Oh, and Chirality is gonna go straight for the race game without checking what it is. Vanilla, how about that? So Rambler's probably gonna give us our first look at Southside checks. Meanwhile, Chiraldy's heading up towards Escape. I guess he didn't do the uncle checks yet.
No, he started off in Sanctuary.
Now this is interesting. Rambler is skipping Dam and going straight for Mini Moldorm Cave. I wonder if he's thinking, like, with that book being vanilla, maybe Boots will show up in Mini Moldorm Cave and then he can loop in the dam with a trip to desert. Meanwhile, Mishra's showing us dam. That is our glove.
In the back of Moldorm Cave, we have the red boomerang, a full heart container, 20 rupees, more blueberries, and 10 arrows.
And Chirality is now taking us into Escape, which we have not yet seen.
Now Rambler's heading over to the and gets his mitts.
Yeah, those gloves don't do a huge amount for us right off the bat, but they do make Back of Escape easy to get to.
Right.
And put it in logic, since logically they require either the gloves or a lamp.
Boots. Yeah. I was gonna say boots, but that's for the kings too.
So Rambler's taking us over to Aegina, while Jay Meisher takes us over to Ice Rod Cave. So we'll get to see a couple new checks there. Aegina is vanilla today.
Seems that 75, about 50% of the front part of the game is vanilla today.
Well, that's Zora money in Zelda's cell, given what the runners already have.
Picks up another 300 and just decides to save and quit.
Which is interesting because the Fire Rod does put Dark Cross in logic.
Right. Remember going now down to the back part of Escape to check those 3 chests? And what
And we have a heart container, a hammer, and Quake medallion, so that is definitely a necessary check.
And there's Mia right behind.
So with that glove and that hammer, we just need Moon Pearl for Dark World access now. So Misha's gonna give us our first... Oh, what do you know? Lake Hylia Island. Vanilla piece of heart. Haven't seen that at all this seed.
I guess in a way we were expecting it with the way things have just been dropping so far. At least we're getting a Desmir going to check out Sahashala.
I mean, I guess we should be glad that, like, the hammer and the glove weren't vanilla.
Right.
And there are those boots, sort of French vanilla, if you will.
Yeah.
Which...
Well, it now puts the book into logic.
Yeah, leads me to believe there could be something important in Desert.
Right.
Because with the glove and that fire rod as well, and the boots, of course, they can full clear Desert.
Yep.
But Misha's actually going to take us into Eastern Palace while he's in the neighborhood.
Think we'll find a vanilla bow in here?
I hope not. But the other thing about those boots, besides them leading to book, which leads to desert, is that they're just nice to get a bit of a lead, because the earlier you get them, the faster you can cover more ground.
Right.
And Chirality picks up his. So it looks like Rambler is setting up the Death Warp here, so after he gets his treasure trove, he decides against Death Warping. I was hoping someone would show us Dark Cross.
I think maybe right now they're item counting. From the looks of it.
Oh, right. You are right. I forget what we've seen, but since Rambler did it after opening the chest, it must have been either the key or the map.
Right. We also have the bottle, so we have our first bottle, so that opens up stick over on Jashmir's side. gonna be butchering that name.
Sarsaparilla?
Yeah.
Sriracha? So that was, I guess,
There's a piece of
yeah,
art.
that was the final chest for Misha getting the art there. No vanilla bow today. And I think that also makes Armos Knights a dungeon item.
Right.
No, actually, we've seen the map and the compass, so Armos Knights must have the third item.
Well, with right now. Piece of art in King's Tomb. And right now, without the bow, that's bow locked for our runners, so. We're still also. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Misha is now, with his findings from the eastern area, going back to Kakariko to check Sick Kid and get the book.
Sick Kid giving us 10 arrows.
No wonder he was sick if he had 10 arrows in him. And I'm guessing Jay Misha's just gonna run over to Desert from here. We still have not seen a sword. I mean, hammer can damage most of the same enemies, but it does make it a bit riskier to dash because you charge into an enemy, you're gonna take damage.
Now, does the hammer do level 1 or level 2 damage?
It actually does tempered sword damage.
Okay. So that's level 3 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it just has a tiny hitbox.
Are they gonna? Is this seed gonna make us double dip into all of the first 3 dungeons?
I mean, they can clear desert in one go. Oh, and there's our bow. Okay.
No, they need the torch. Oh yeah, no, they do have the fire rod. Thinking of the torch, of needing the torch. I forgot the rod. But the way this scene's been going so far, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, they have the torch.
Now, it does look like a potentially required double dip of the Eastern Palace area, depending where the other bow is, because as far as we know right now, Desert Palace access is through that book, which requires the boots, which are behind Sahasrara.
Right.
And flippers on the desert ledge. This is serious progression.
Definitely.
Opens up the possibility that maybe the Moon Pearl is in Waterfall Cave.
Or with the hobo.
So yes, for the time being, Misha's going to see if the second item in desert is on Landmo, in which case the runners don't need to go to the right side of desert. Oh, is that the first look we've had at Bonk Rocks? I think so, on Yalfto's case.
Yeah, it was the piece of heart. Jay checked out.
Oh, okay, but of course it had to be vanilla.
Yeah.
Jay Misha unfortunately ran out of
Magic.
magic. Could use bow strats. Right as I say this, of course he changes to bow. Bow strats are the standard for a regular NMG run.
It's a nice double on that last one. And down goes Landmole. Compass, so our items on the right side maybe, picks up the crystal foot.
Yeah, at this point, gotta go back in and see what that second item is. Now, Chirality is actually going to go over to the right and make that check first before going to Landmo. Let's see what Rambler does. He's following Misha's strats and going straight for Landmo.
And Yafta joining right behind in all of this, making their way over to desert.
But with that second item being a piece of heart, our runners know that they've cleared out everything, or at least Misha and Chirality know.
Right.
So I would say the most likely possibility is that our next piece of progression will be in one of the flipper checks. But it could be on Armos Knights, which are in logic in version 31, because you can light the torches in the dark room to get to them with the fire rod.
So it looks like Jasmine is going to go check out Hobo first.
And what do we find under the bridge today? Mo money.
Hey,
But actually, since... Go ahead.
that brings us closer also to seeing what Zora has for us as well.
Yeah, and it's particularly relevant for Jay Misher because he didn't do escape, so he didn't get the 300 out of Zelda's cell.
Right. But he still has he's got the amount to go check out
Right, only because he got the 300 from Hobo, as opposed to the other three runners who already have Zora money.
Right.
He releases the bee to see what the fairy will fill his bottle with. Red goo.
And 40 rupees from the waterfall.
Well, there's the Moon Pearl on Zora Ledge, so the flippers were our progression, and that'll be our Dark World access. And yeah, with that Dark World access, we will have 3 dungeons we can full clear. Pod, while not totally in logic without the lamp, and Skullwoods and Thieves, which are totally in logic.
Right. Let's see how.
Looks like Misha's going for Hype Cave.
Right. And recently Hype Cave's been like a total bust lately for all runners in
Okay, so we have reverse French vanilla sort of 5-6 crystals. They are in ice and mire. We had the green pendant in Turtle Rock, and the other 2 pendants are Pod and Swamp. So as I said, finding the 2 rods early meant that Turtle Rock was a pendant.
Right. But then again, that's always a 50-50 shot if TR is a pendant or not as well. Get a piece of heart from the doorman. Full heart container, piece of heart, 20 rupees, and bombs. Give that a mediocre hype today.
Yeah. Really, if not for the full heart, it would have been a total bust.
Right.
So it looks like Misha's going for the pod area despite the fact that it's a pendant. Or at least pyramid and catfish.
I'm gonna say it looks like he's gonna go to do pyramid check first. Yeah, he's heading over to pyramid.
And Chirality and Rambler are doing their flippers checks and will shortly have the Moon Pearl, as well as be relieved of most of their rupees.
Oh, King Zora, why do you have to keep ripping us off?
Well, you know, you can get 10 bombs for 50 rupees in Kakariko, or you can get 3 bombs for 500 rupees from Zora. It's one of those, you know, well, it's such an out-of-the-way location. Bombs are hard to come by. They sell for a premium.
I'll take the bombs in Kakariko Village, please.
It's like when you go to that one gas station in the middle of the desert that has gas for $1 more than anywhere else.
How do they still stay in business? Meanwhile, Jasmine checking out Catfish, and that has 10 hours.
So, a bit of waste of time, but Misha is still in the lead of our 4 runners on the restream.
It's like trying to find that specific blackjack table that pays 3 to 2 and lets you double down and split aces. That's very hard to find.
And I totally missed Rambler's ped check.
It looked like a piece of heart.
Chat saying powder.
Now that might come in handy as too, but not. I'm gonna say not 100% sure on the powder. Further back running out of there.
Yes, you can turn anti-fairies into fairies, so yes, powder.
Yep.
So this could get interesting. We won't know what's on Magic Bat. Maybe we'll find a mushroom and be able to fake powder Magic Bat. I'm sure the runners are hoping Magic Bat doesn't have progression.
Then again, with what we've seen so far, who knows what anything can happen in this race.
But yeah, until we get the mirror and the hook shot, we don't really have to worry about whether what's on pet is important. So just 50 rupees in the chest game. Rambler finds the map of Skull Woods in the vanilla big key chest. And Chirality is paying a visit to an extortionist monkey.
If it's not Zora extorting us, it's Kiki the monkey that's extorting us. It's a lose-lose situation for Link.
Good play with that hammer, though, because otherwise, if you get hit by an enemy, Kiki will run off and you'll have to bribe him all over again.
And red mail in the sea house.
At least we get something in Village of Outcasts. Meanwhile, I haven't noticed whether Ramblers found anything useful in Skull Woods yet. Well, that 300 rupees was one of the two items.
Picking up their key to start off. I wonder... probably Pod's gonna be like normal. It's gonna be a mullet dungeon. Keys in the front, business in the...
Well, there are 2 keys already. There have to be at least 4 in the front. Oh, right. And we can't finish Skullwoods because we don't have a sword. It's not too often that sword is the item preventing you from finishing Skullwoods.
Right. Because we gotta chop down those vines. And Titan's Mitt. Priority picking up the Titan's Mitt.
Oh, and just to respond to chat talking about the implications of powder on Ped, you could have Cane of Samaria on the witch, and then it's impossible to fake powder.
Ooh, that would be a nasty fetch quest right there.
So Yalfta's on his way to get the bad news about Catfish.
It was a pack of bombs up in the top of Thieves Town.
And now the question is, will Blind Cell have that key, or is the key locking itself in the big chest?
That's the big $64,000 question right now.
Ah, well, gotta make the detour.
We're already picking up the lamp.
It would have been funnier if the lamp had been fire rod locked.
50 rupees in the big chest in Thieves Town. Well, there's the big key.
And Jay Meisher is on to the blind fight, which he will be doing with hammer strats.
Cloudy picks up the first sword of the game. And there's the mirror. Coyote picking up the mirror in pod.
So Pod had a whole trove of items.
Yep. The Titan's mitt. Level 1 sword. The lamp and the lamp.
And taking advantage of that mirror to go and grab the crystal out of Eastern while they're in the area.
And they'll probably do the old warp back to pod and take care of it.
I didn't catch if Helmasaur has an item or not. It's hard with Forerunners to count exactly where all the items are, but if Helma doesn't have an item, the only reason you need to beat it is...
to get the crystal.
No, it's a pendant.
Oh, right.
If we need that powder off of the pedestal.
Right, we'll see if that, if the powder being on ped actually hinders the runners.
So we have a bit more convergence, except for Chirality, who's going to show us soon what Armos Knights has and get their second crystal. Jay Misher's already gotten his second crystal off of Blind,
Right,
as
just,
New York
Tracker.
Rambler's about to do.
The tracker thing is a little slow.
Rambler's also choosing Hammer Strats, and here he goes with Burna Strats. I like Burna Strats.
Coyote's setting up for the quick kill for the Armorous Knight.
An amazing bow-locked bow.
And Coyote gets her silvers.
And since that's a crystal, and you need the first bow to get that far, all of our runners will necessarily be having silvers. Oh, New York Rambler's gonna show us the dig game. I don't think we've seen this yet.
Not that we haven't. Jimmy sure going to check out that lone chest. And it's the big... I don't think Jimmy sure has picked up a sword yet.
No, because the only sword we've seen was in Pod, and Chirality's the only one who's gone to Pod.
Right.
But he can check the big chest.
And Rambler gonna go to check our old friend Stumpy today. Stumpy has a piece of heart for it. Messed up, sets up the bomb jump.
Regarding a comment in chat, flippers are very much logically required for this seed. You needed them to get the moon pearl off of Zora Ledge. I mean, you can use the water walk to get there, since the runners have the boots, but logically you needed the flippers for it.
Key in the big chest. Kinda not hoping what he was looking for.
And that looked like a big 20 on bumper ledge.
Yeah. That's affirmative.
So cape will not be required this seed, since the Cane of Burna already gives us logical access to Spike Cave.
Remember picking up that full heart container up on Pyramid left.
And Chirality does have logical Death Mountain access because they got the lamp and the mirror out of Pod. It's just not showing up on the tracker. But that does give them a full way to explore all of Light World Death Mountain. So, speaking of all those items out of Pod, it's good to see New York Rambler in there, and Jay Misher is making his way there. Hopefully, Yalfto will be there before too long. Oh, that's kind of cool with Chirality. Blue Blindette and Red Blindette. So, New York Rambler picks up his mitts. Yalfto is on the way to get a little piece of Stumpy's heart.
Yeah. Just to clarify for chat, it is, our trackers do have it marked off. For some reason, it's just not showing up on the tracker for you guys that are watching it on Twitch and on the Reach.
Yeah, unfortunately, this sometimes happens with the Speed Gaming Tracker app.
Yeah. I just did a quick double check with our trackers. They assured me it was. We do have it ticked off. It's just not showing up for some strange reason.
So now Rambler's heading to the back where he will get his lamp and then his sword and then his mirror. So Pod only has 5 items, and at least 4 of them are useful. Again, I didn't see if we found the 5th, or if the 5th is on Helmasaur.
I think we only found 4. Because I know it was the lamp, the Titan's mitt, and the mirror. Or 3 items that we found.
And the sword.
And the sword, so that makes our 4 items.
And there was the map, so I guess the question is the compass in the dark maze, or either
No,
the dark
because
maze has the compass or it has the 5th item.
no, the dark maze had the sword.
Oh, it had the big key in the sword.
It had the
I forgot that we didn't have the big key yet.
Already taking our smithy back to his place. But not before checking Peg Cave.
Okay.
Bombs.
And we do apologize, the tracker app seems totally dead at the moment.
Right. ₹20 from the Smith.
Oh, so Rambler is going for Helmasaur, so I guess Helma must have the 5th item, because I don't think Rambler would do this just in case he needs to pull Ped later.
Right.
It would be pretty amazing if Pod turns out to be 5 for 5 useful items.
I've seen it happen in the past.
I mean, 4 for 5 is pretty darn good right there.
Right. Well, let's see. Do we bat 100?
Oh, and Chiraldi going into Graveyard Ledge.
And we have...
Just 10 arrows.
But then again... Oh, no, that's not... I was thinking that was the green pen, but it isn't.
Misha getting the news that Aga is not required this seed.
Currently picking up their shield, so they have a level 1 shield.
And New York Rambler takes down Helmasaur with enough arrows to the forehead. And finds the Bloomerang. Well, that's sort of a useful item.
Alright, we were 5 for 5 today on items. And Jamisha taking, helping the old man back to his place, making their way up Death Mountain, and also finding their shield. And for taking him back, he gives us 300 rupees.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. We're more than 45 minutes in, and this is our first look at Death Mountain from any runner. And Spectacle Rock is a vanilla piece of heart. Now we do have the book, but we don't have the Master Sword, so all we can do is see what's on the tablet.
Wait.
A lot of money. And Misher's taking us into the Tower of Hera. Oh good, a convenient big key today. Since the runners don't have hookshot, Hera pot clip is not an option. Chat pointing out that, yes, given that we have the boots and have not seen the hook shot and Swamp is a pendant, it is theoretically possible that this is a hover seed. Not logically, of course, but the hook shot could be in a very out-of-the-way location.
Right.
Ooh, and the Hera Big Chest has the shovel. Chirality is doing some good hammer strats against Mothula. Rambler takes out Armos Knights. And I think I gave Chirality the commentator's curse because I was talking about how good the hammer strats were and
Right.
in trouble.
Yeah. Those spikes are a pain.
But while we were watching Mothula, Misha takes out Moldorm.
And Moldorm gives us a small key.
And Mothula gives us the flute.
Ooh.
So there's our Meyer area access.
Right. And Jamisha not even bothering to go in and check the back of the back side of the basement. Instead goes over to the left side of Death Mountain. He's gonna check out Spiral Cave. It feels good to have the boots in here for one.
Yeah, and a sword finally.
Right. The last couple scenes I commentated, everyone had to take the walk of shame around the Spiral Cave, but making their way through just for a pack of bombs.
But yeah, we're getting kind of close to go mode now, depending on what the Meyer Medallion is. If the Meyer Medallion's Quake,
Then we only need the hook shot.
and a sword upgrade and the red cane. But like if we get the red cane and Meyer is Quake, then it's awkward because it's like, how near and far do you search for the hookshot and the sword upgrade, knowing that either of them could be in GT?
Right. I mean, I had a seed once. Well, Desmir getting their sword. I think that's their level 2 sword, the Master Sword. 10 arrows, 20 rupees, and at 52 minutes we get the national.
And Yalfto, unfortunately, still doesn't have their first sword, but looks like they're going to pod now, so they will get their whole bunch of pod items.
Right. Rambler going into Hera. Let's see what Turtle Rock. Even though we don't need to complete it, but let's see what it gives.
Bombos. Okay, so we can't go in there even if we had the cane. probably just as well.
Right. But that makes me wonder now what Meyer is. Is Meyer Bombos as well? Or is it Ether or Quake?
Well, I think Chirality's going to check it shortly. And speaking of Ether, Mishra finds that along with Bacon in Super Bunny Cave.
Alright, let's see what Meyer has to deal with us. Has dealt us. It is...
Looked like Ether, it was a bit fast.
Yeah, I didn't catch it as well, too.
Okay, something must have been on Floating Island that I missed.
Right. I must have missed
Oh,
it
that's
too.
the hook shot, okay. So, we just need the Cane of Samaria for no mode now.
And what was in 20 rupees in check a... And what was in the Meyer shed?
Piece of heart and a big 20.
I picked up 1 rupee, piece of heart, pack of bombs, and the last chest is a 3rd bottle for Jimmy Sure.
So yeah, the hunt for the Cane of Samaria is on, though Jay Misha will also need to finish up Skull Woods to get the flute. He doesn't know where that is yet, and so he also doesn't know that he can open Meyer.
But we're getting a Spike Cave check from Jimmy Sure. ₹50.
And Yalfto finally picks up their mitts. Going to continue on and get all those lovely items from the back of Pod. Oh, and Mishra's going Ice Palace.
In a way, we were thinking of all these other locations. It could also be up on Pyramid Ferry.
What could be on Pyramid Ferry?
Or Red King.
No, because you have to beat Meyer to get there.
Oh, right. And yeah. We still didn't see what the entrance to Meyer.
I thought I saw Ether on it. Chirality gave us a fairly quick look.
Okay.
And shout outs to Miri K. Thank you for subscribing to Speed Gaming. Speed Gaming 4, I guess this is.
Yep. say this so far. This has been one interesting seed with everything, with a lot of things being vanilla up.
Yeah, and that vanilla book was very important because it turned out that Desert Ledge had the flippers, which led to the Moon Pearl on Zora Ledge. Oh, and Chirality is going for this item in Hera Basement, so we will finally find out what it is. And if it happens to be the Cane of Samaria, that could be a big difference.
Right. Meanwhile, Jamisha finding the half magic over an ice palace.
Always a nice find. And a single rupee in Ice Palace. Just the Uncle Bomb package in Hera Basement. We call that the Uncle Bomb package because there is no 10 bomb item in a chest in the vanilla game. It was just put there so that in standard opening, one of the weapons it's possible for Uncle to give you is bombs.
I will admit, I hate getting bombs to start off with.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. You have to be really careful with them. So Chirality saw the hook shot on Floating Island and is working their way down through Spiral Cave. Rambler's already gone to Ice Palace. Mishra is quickly finishing off Cold Stare to get a map. You know, there are enough seats out there with the Cane of Samaria in Misery Mire, so we might be seeing that today. So hopefully Jay Mishra's gonna finish off Skull Woods and get his flute now.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading that over in that general direction. Just right now, the runners are just crossing back over their own, everyone else's, each other's. Our trackers are informing us that it is Ether from Maya. So for all those out there, since you guys are keeping track of it as well, we have Ether from Maya. So you were right on that.
And Bombos for Turtle Rock, which we hope we don't see, but it doesn't matter because if we could do anything in Turtle Rock, we'd be in go mode because the only thing we need is the Cane of Samaria. And Chirality with that Ether Medallion and about to get the hook shot will be the first runner to just be Kane away from go mode, but actually Mishra might beat Mothula first, so soon Mishra and Chirality will both be Kane away from go mode. Yalfto also going after the Moth. But it's a bit easier to do with the fire rod like Jay Misher did, but that's a bit easier to do if you have half magic. Yalfdo's just burned through all their magic.
And you gotta be careful because those spikes will negate the will negate the damage.
Okay, so Jay Misher's going to activate his flute. Rambler is finishing off Cold Stare. Hopefully he too will go over and finish off Mothula after this.
Cloudy going through Hookshot Cave.
Oh, and Yalfdo takes a death to Mothula.
Ouch!
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Yalfdo did not do Death Mountain because they might find Mothula a bit easier with that Tempered Sword.
Cloudy going into Lake Hylia. So it looks like she's gonna go to doing Ice Palace first.
Well, it makes sense when you just have Ice and Mire left. Ice has more items, and if you find the cane here, well, then you know you can only you can go mode Mire and only go through it once.
Right, but we know that the cane, that Janisha has done ice already, so we know that the cane is not there.
Oh, and Rambler's giving us a look at the Bombos tablet. Haven't seen this one yet.
No.
There it is! And we are in no mode, but Rambler did not yet finish Skull Wood, so he will have to do that to get his flute. Unfortunately, he's gonna dip Swamp Palace first. This is gonna cost him, because we know that if he just went and finished Skull Woods, he'd be golden.
Right. How much you want to bet that the other runners are not gonna think about checking that tablet right at this point of the race, right?
Yeah, I mean, Chirality, I believe, already delivered the purple chest, so they don't really have reason to go back that way.
So maybe that put Rambler right now in the lead with this race, getting that.
Depends how much time he wastes in Swamp Palace.
True.
Because apart from maybe the fourth sword, and even at this stage in the game, that doesn't help you that much. There really isn't much you could find in here.
Right. It is an item dense location as well.
Yeah, but he's flute from go mode, so he is just looking for one item, and we know where that item is.
Right.
Now the question is, what will Jay Misher do when he comes up empty-handed in Mire?
Probably what every other runner does, a few slashes of red.
So just to recap where we are, New York Rambler is flute away from go mode. The flute is on Mothula. Jay Meisher is Kane of Samaria away from Go mode. The Kane of Samaria is on Bombos tablet. So really, it's whichever one of those runners decides to check the relevant location first, they will be in the lead. And it's also possible that if Chirality goes to Bombos tablet, they could be the first of our restreamed runners to hit Go mode. So where is Jay Meisher going? Has he not done Graveyard Ledge yet?
No, I don't think so. Rambler picking up a... I think that was the sign card he just picked up, because it looked like he got a full... a full...
Nice job on Cold Stare by Chirality. So where's Chirality going to go now? Where's NY Rambler going to go after Argus? And where is Jay Meisher going to go next? And Yalfdo is fortunately making that Death Mountain climb, where we know they will find the Hookshot and the Ether Medallion, among other things.
Re-warp into Coyote. Back to Link's house. Let's see. Do they make the right?
I think it's a right check. I think Jay Meisher's in a better position because he's going to be doing the Smith chain, and that should lead him at the end to check Bombos.
Right. Just a piece of heart from the digging spot.
Now, NY Rambler is slowly making his way back up to the Village of Outcasts. Oh, he's going to check the shovel spot first, too, but hopefully he'll continue north, get to Skullwoods, and get his Go mode. But Chirality is going to be the first of our runners in Go mode, as they are about to check that Bombos tablet. And at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 25 seconds, Chirality is in Go mode. Oof, Rambler's gonna do the Smith chain before he goes back to Skullwoods. That's gonna cost him.
And then Jay Meisher starting getting the purple chest from the other half of the Smith chain.
Yalfdo having a bit of trouble with that last hard hat beetle, but makes it by. So I didn't actually catch where the big key was in Mire. So I don't know whether this is going to be a God Mire for Chirality. But at least it'll be a Go mode Mire.
Right. I also didn't check to see how many crystals she had.
I believe this is her last one.
Okay. So Yalto having a bit little bit of trouble with Moldorm, but finally takes it down. Jay Misha at 1 hour 13 minutes picks up the cane, and they are now officially our second runner on Restream to be in go.
And because he already went into Mire, he might actually be able to pass Chirality in here while Chirality is searching for the big key. There's Chirality's big key, so they still have a small lead, maybe a minute over Jay Misher. And unfortunately, NY Rambler is going to all the wrong places. I mean, on the one hand, I can understand, you know, you've checked everything in Skullwoods except for that one last location. On the other hand, it's a crystal. You're gonna need it eventually anyway.
Right. I see your logic in that. It's just... He's like... And forgive me for saying this, it's like he's a little bit all over the place, too. And I don't mean that in like in a bad way and everything.
Okay, Mishra has the fire rod out, so he's going to try for the spooky action glitch while Chirality is doing things the way the game intended you to do them. Jay Misha did not get the spooky action glitch, so that'll prevent him from making up time on Chirality. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the vanilla game hides the silver hours behind Vitreous, so that you can't just take down Vitreous like Chirality just did.
But it's always fun to see a silver quick kill on Victory.
So that is Chirality's 7th crystal, which means we have a little game we like to play. We're not going to be running the bot because there are runners off stream. But if you have a guess between 1 and 22, integers only, please, of how many checks Chirality will have to do in GT Basement, put it in chat. What do you think, Yoko?
I'm gonna go with my favorite number, number 9.
Sounds good to me. I'll go with my usual guess of 10.
And Jamie Sure right, I believe Jamie Sure's right behind now with that.
Yep.
So
Jamie is half a Death Mountain climb behind Chirality.
So we've got a race now between Chirality and Jamie Sure.
But for the big key game, we'll go by whoever enters Ganon's tower first, regardless of who finds the big key first.
Right. Alright, now Rambler's gonna go finish off Skull Woods.
And he's going to feel a little silly when he finishes it.
Alright. So those in chat, we do apologize. If the trackers do not seem updated, we're just having a little technical difficulties on the tracker side of everything.
Oh! I totally forgot that Jay Misher never did Eastern. All of the other runners took their mirror from Pod and immediately finished off Eastern while they were in the area.
Right. I guess that was one of the things we overlooked.
But Rambler has just hit go mode at about 118.30.
Coyote going right side first, so in the first chest we find 20 rupees. Chest 2, a small key.
And so Kyraldi's going to go full right with that small key. Or at least as far as compass room.
I always hate this. This room always gives me so much trouble.
Same here.
Alright, so we've got...
Okay, NY Rambler is releasing the Quacken. Jay Meisher is getting his 7th crystal.
So piece of heart in 3, 20 rupees in 4 and 5, and in 6 as well for 20 rupees.
So not on right side unless it was in tile room. And bombs on the torch for 7.
Eight had bombos. 9 was a piece of heart. 10 is a small key. 11 is another small...
Well, it was nice of the game to keep the runners out of Turtle Rock. There was no possible way they could have gone into it before getting 7 crystals.
$12, 20 rupees.
This is gonna be one of those days with the big key. But Meisher could make up a bit of time by not going right. And there is the big key, number 13.
So congratulations to whoever said chest number 13. Give yourself a round of applause, a pat on the back. As we now begin our climb up Ganon's Tower.
IA Devil, congratulations. You have won yourself a free vacation on the left side of Swamp Palace.
I know, that trip sounds kind of depressing.
No one said we gave out good prizes.
True.
And Meisher is going left, so... he'll save some time by not doing compass room. But Kyraldi is already in the gauntlet. And Yalfto is setting up the famous Ice Palace bomb jump. Doesn't quite get it, I think a little bit too low. There we go. Chirality takes down Lanmo right before Jay Meisher collects his big key. And Rambler is just about at Vitreous, where he will get his 7th crystal.
Jimmy should now be getting their climb up TT.
Those silver arrows are very nice for one-shotting those red gorillas.
Agreed.
Chirality waiting for that chime from the door closing before going upstairs, because if you happen to go upstairs on the frame that the door closes, you will despawn the entire dungeon and not be able to beat Aga 2.
Now, is that a soft lock or a hard lock?
Oh, you can just mirror out. It just wastes time.
Right, and then you gotta begin the whole climb all up again.
Yup.
Alright, probably have a nice quick fight here with Moldorm.
Not even seeing what Moldorm's last possession is.
Nope, just passing that up. I think it was probably, if I had to guess, it'd probably be like a rupee in there or something.
And Jay Meisher didn't quite get the 1 cycle on Lanmo, but gets it at the very beginning of the 2nd cycle.
And Coyote beginning her fight with the famous Geometry Wizard. And a nice double to start off.
Ooh, not quite well positioned there, just gets a single, but another single does it.
And down goes Aga 2.
And with Tempered and Silvers, this should be a nice quick Ganon fight.
Right.
And at the same time, New York Rambler is going into Ganon's tower. Jay Meisher is just going upstairs to the 2nd torch room. Ganon gives us food facts today.
And I think the fact was about bacon today.
Ah, those bottles are coming in handy. And Chirality is on phase 3 now. NY Rambler is going to learn that the big key is not on right side. And Jay Meisher is on to Aga 2 here. And Yalfto got it with Cold Stare and the green goo. Chirality is on phase 4, gets in 1 shot.
The one neat thing about this is that also Ganon does tell you where. Ganon always has that one fact where it tells you where the silvers are if you weren't lucky enough to pick.
And get your GGs in chat for Chirality, assuming they can cross this incredibly dangerous bridge. And Chirality finishes first in our restream And second overall, with an official SRL time of 1:28.23, they were just sniped by Rufiu, who beat them by 7 seconds, 1:28.16.
Still a very close race indeed for the two of them.
And Jay Misher is already on Ganon here. Still phase 1, though. So with the tracker broken, I'm not sure what the deal is going to be for getting the runners in here, because usually when the tracker marks the runners finished, the system sets out an automatic invite, but the tracker's broken. So we'll see what we can do about getting runners in here for interviews. And in any case, we'll wait until Jay Misher finishes. Oh, sounds like we were able to get chirality, but let's just wait for this Ganon fight now on phase 3 to finish. Shouldn't be more than like half a minute or so. Ooh, just misses the triple on Ganon there, but gets it, and down goes Ganon for Jay Misher.
With a
And Jay Misher finishes second on our restream, 5th overall with an official SRL time of 1:30.37. But let's just wait for this Ganon fight now on phase 3 to finish. Shouldn't be more than like half a minute or so. So we have chirality in here with us. GG.
Hi everyone, thank you.
And we are also joined by Jay Misher as well. GGG.
GG guys.
I am sorry if I am sorry if you go back and watch this. I am sorry if I butchered your name.
No problem.
And down goes Ganon for Jay Misher.
With a
Sounds like one of you is listening to the game in the background. Jay Misher finishes second on our restream, 5th overall with an official SRL time of 1:30.37. Anyway, chirality and Jay Misher, what are your thoughts on that scene?
Pretty straightforward. There's nothing super crazy. It's a really long Pearl sequence at the start there.
Oh yeah, I was getting worried.
But my biggest mistake, and I don't know if it would have definitely brought me in line with first and second place finishers, but leaving Eastern after, leaving Pod, saving, quitting out of there instead of mirroring and finishing Eastern, cost me a ton of time.
I entered the Dark World and I went High Cave, checked the crystals. Oh, Pod's a green pendant. Let's go there. And then turns out everything was there.
Yeah.
And when I got that mirror and looked, there was only one item left in the dungeon. I was like, I got 4 really good items already. What are the odds that it's 5 or 6 on the green pendant? I'm leaving. And yeah, I think that was the time difference in the end.
Straightforward.
Because you were given myths, you were given mirrors. The first thing you did in Dark World, you could route so many things differently and efficiently. So it just felt dumb. And also, I had already did Eastern really early, and I was trying to do Dark World when I got absolutely bodied by one of the skeletons and just died. So basically that mirror was my excuse to just finish the dungeon right away, because on top of that I had the bow from Desert. Did you do bow on the Desert?
I eventually did. I started with I had enough fire route shots to kill one, And then
2 shots, and then the rest is bow.
Yeah, I tried hammer. That was not going well, so I actually finished with bow. Yeah.
I didn't have the hammer at the time. I really just had the bow left.
Oh yeah, I did escape first.
Well, I was waiting for the glove to the back. I only had the front, and then like I was killing so many enemies at the beginning of the siege just trying to get a magic drop, and I got nothing. So every single time a magic drop was like, oh, it's so precious, because that's what allows me to do back of escape to the Dark Cross quickly, or anything like that, or kill Anmo faster.
By the way, Rambler's having a bit of trouble right now with some Moldorm falls. Let's hope he can. Oh no, another one. Yikes. Sorry for that. I just wanted to, call attention to that.
Right.
As far as our finished runners, what about the Cane of Samaria? I guess that was go mode for both of you, and Bombos is a bit out of the way.
Well, Bombos was in GT, so wasn't exactly a problem. But
no, Bombos tablet.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking, do I dip swamp and just go to Argus, kill Argus, and then check the tablet? Or do I check the tablet right away, then go kill Argus, then do left side swamp? Do I kill Argus, into left side swamp, into tablet? Like, what's the order there? And at the end, I just decided, let's do tablet first. That'll be clear. I won't have to think about it. And I locked out of basically just killing Argus, so I stayed for a good 4 minutes there. Yeah, so I was really happy with my choice.
Yeah, for me, I was really happy to see that there, because the very next stop was going to be swamp. Because after I got flute from Mothula, I immediately went to go do Misery Mire. I actually cleared that first, and then because I was going to do Mothula and then do Graveyard Ledge down through Smith Chain and all that. So I skipped out on that to do Misery Mire, and then I went back and I started with Graveyard Ledge and routed south, because I was just desperate to keep myself out of swamp. I hate
Which was a good move, as it turned out.
Yeah, it definitely worked out in my favor this time. But there were a lot of checks that I ended up leaving hanging, like Hera Basement, Eastern Palace boss, because like I said, I didn't even process that I had gotten Mirror as the last item in pod, so I could actually finish Eastern at that time. So that was in the back of my mind the entire time. But yeah, no, the Cane was like perfect timing, because it was like, okay, good. I don't have to bother with Pendant Swamp this seed. I immediately went to go.
Yeah, and Chirality, I think you were the only one who actually did check the Hera Basement.
Yeah, I was thinking that I left an item. I was basically completely orphaning Pyramid Catfish at that point. I left an item on pod. I didn't want to pick up the Green Pennant either. I didn't want to do Spike Cave. So I had enough isolated checks that I basically knew I'm not doing them until a very long time, that I felt like the Hera Basement was one that I didn't want to really skip on, just in case, and turns out I wasted a minute, so yay.
Well, none of them had anything. But NY Rambler's now on the third phase of Ganon, so let's check that out a bit. He's plugging through it. Incidentally, he did do Swamp, which is why he is still playing now.
Yeah, super easy to get suckered into Swamp this seed, just because of having everything for it.
A lot of items also in the vanilla locations in the seed.
Catfish at that point. I left an item on pod. I didn't want to.
But
that
yeah,
bow,
Rambler's now 2 silver shots into Ganon. Ooh, very close to the edge there, almost took a fall.
I basically knew I'm not doing them until a very long time. That I felt like Hera Basement was one that I didn't want.
And he gets the double. He takes down Ganon. Just needs to walk across the bridge. But NY Rambler's now on the third phase of Ganon, so let's check. And he finishes here with an official SRL time of 1:38:11, which is good for third in our restream and 8th overall. So GG's to him. He's still in the top half of runners. Overall, we have 20 runners tonight.
GG's to him.
Items also in the vanilla. Jamish, I believe you were saying something before we cut you off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it was really funny seeing that bow off of Armos. Because
yes, talk
well,
about
the funniest part of that is that it means that literally everybody's going to be doing silver at Ganon. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, talk about a bow-locked bow. And we have NY Rambler joining us too. GG.
Yo, GG.
GG.
So I
GG,
guess
Rambler.
the big question for you is your avoidance of finishing Skull Woods.
Yeah, I got baited by hookshot. That's all it was.
Oh, you figured Swamp meant something, and then after Swamp, you were
Yeah, I
checking
was
a
just
number
like,
of
there's
other
only
things.
one item in there's only one item in Skull Woods. What are the odds that it's the go mode item that I needed? Pretty high apparently.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done it
Oh,
like
no, I was
right
gonna say, it
after
was really funny
Pod,
seeing that
but
bow
I
off
only had
of,
Fighter Sword at the time, so I decided to do the Mountain instead. And that's where I got the hook shot, and I was like, well, the hook shot should mean that something is in Swamp. So I was like, let me check Bono's tablet. That was Samaria, and I was like, all right, Flute for go mode. The hook shot's here for a reason. Let me see what's in the back.
Joining us too, GG. Yeah, you were actually, I think, the only runner to find the cane before the flute. At least of the restreamed runners.
Yeah, the cane was in a pretty bad spot, all things considered. Well, can we talk about that pod for 1 sec?
Yeah,
Sure,
go
that
ahead.
was a heck of a pod.
Was that every item? Like, I went in and was like, all right, what are we going to find in here? Oh, there's the mitts. Oh, there's the lamp. Oh, there's the sword. Oh, there's the mirror. It's just like everything I needed is right there.
Yeah, I saw the mitts pop up, and I was like, there's a possibility that dipping out of here right now is a play, but I was like, no, I'm not satisfied with this. I'm going to keep going, and thank God, because yeah, literally all the progression was there. I pretty much last location pod.
I think I did
cleared,
also. Let me see what's in the back.
Yeah, cleared Skull Woods. I did Catfish and Pyramid really early.
I also last location Moon Pearls saved for Ice Rod Cave.
Before the flute. It didn't feel like a last location because there are only so many things open to you guys at that point.
Yeah. Can we talk about that pod for 1 second? I mean, yeah, like my decision was after I did my Resident Dark World round, I was like, all right, do I go to Catfish first or do I go to Pod first? And obviously 5 items versus 1, I'm doing Pod every time. There's the lamp. Oh, there's the sword. Oh, there's the mirror. Especially when I knew I could beat it even without lamp because I had Fire Rod, so the Dark Rooms weren't going to be a problem.
Yeah, I saw
even though it was a pendant, I'd rather like I finished it anyway, and oh look, another unique item on Helmasaur.
That dipping out of here right now is
yeah, and by the way, Yalfto is on the way to their go mode because they're about to deliver the purple chest, and hopefully we'll follow that with the Bombos check. So that'll be nice.
There was an item on Helmasaur too, because I actually didn't beat.
Yeah, Helmasaur had the blue boomerang.
That's so funny.
So yeah.
It didn't feel like a not great, but better than like a big 20.
Yeah, I'm thankful that skipping Harrow Basement and Left Side Swamp actually paid off a little bit in the fact that I didn't lose extra time in doing those checks. 5 items versus 1, I'm doing Pod every time.
Yeah, it wasn't like bad. I mean, Swamp has a lot of checks.
Yeah, and Swamp did end up having 2 items on the left side, but my thought was this thing is probably hookshot blocked. If it's not hookshot blocked, I'm going to come back here. That's going to be the last thing I check, other than maybe Harrow Basement was going to be left side Swamp. I was hoping that, like, if Bombos would happen to be somewhere, I'm gambling on that powder being somewhere.
I'm sorry.
Also, I was looking for the mushroom the entire time
because
because I did not want to pull that pedestal.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. But once it came down to like Kane and Flute being the only 2 left, I was pretty confident that wasn't going to be.
Well, when I found Samaria first, I was getting a little worried. I was going to find Bombos in back of Swamp, and then Flute was going to be either in Turtle Rock, on Sahashala, or on the Magic Bat.
It would have been amazing to have progression on Magic Bat this season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What if Mushroom was on Magic Bat and like Witch had something?
Oh dear.
That'd be Twitch chat's dream right there.
Don't do this to me. I didn't even check ped. I was just.
Oh, ped. Yeah,
I
ped
was
was
hoping
powder.
that this wasn't. Oh, there's powder. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that at
So
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I checked it like right before I went to Dark World for the first time because I was right over there. I had the boots, I had the book. Might as well just knock it out. Even though, see, I knew Turtle Rock was probably a pendant with that early ice rod. Because the last 3 SGs I've done, I've had early ice rod and Turtle Rock's been a pendant all 3 times, and never required.
Yeah, almost always.
Right.
That wasn't going to be.
That's like a given at this point.
When I found Samaria first, I was gonna.
I remember last year I did a seed where I commentated a seed where the quest it led to having all 3 pendants led to getting the item off of Ped. Ped led you to the witch, and then that led to tile room in Ganon's tower, which led to the boots, which led to the key being on top of Bob's torch.
Yeah, there's all sorts of shenanigans that can happen when you have something like powder on pedestals. So I was definitely cognizant of it, but it was pretty remote possibility, all things considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
But it was lingering in the back of my mind, especially after I found Samaria before Flute. That's like a given at this point. So I found Flute first, obviously Ped's out of the question, because then going on Samaria means you never have to go on Turtle Rock, which thankfully I still didn't have to go on Turtle Rock because Bamos wasn't GT.
I did the weirdest route because I was hoping to find a hookshot and do a clean 1-go mountain. So I started at Village of Outcast, I did Thieves Town, then I went south to do Digging Game, area at Cave 45, pick up Stumpy, then I went back up, pick up the Smith, do the cave, turn in Smith, ignore purple chests, do Sea House, then go do Skullwoods, start with the back, get the flute, get the second item, go back, mirror, activate flute, take my pearl back, then I picked up purple chest, then I turned it with my flute. I did weird stuff. It was beautiful. And then I went back and then I mirrored to go up the mountain. Basically, everything in that was without a save and quit.
I still didn't have to go to Turtle Rock because Bamos wasn't.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening if you went pod right off the bat for sure. Because I did it last, I was like, yeah, because I did pod basically last. I was like, it has to be on the mountain. Progression has to be up there. So
I was convinced it was there, but I would have felt dumb to just skip all these checks that people that wouldn't start at pod would automatically do for sure. Except Smith. Smith was basically the hope that the myths would pay off immediately and give me like even more of an advantage. But besides that, like I can't really skip out of Village of Outcast, Digging Game, that stuff. So I really wanted to clean that before going mountain. And if I found a hookshot, like if I did Smith and got a hookshot, that's beautiful routing for the mountain. Unfortunately, hookshot was basically free already in the mountain, so yeah.
And by the way, Yalfto has now collected their final crystal and should be heading up Death Mountain to Gan's Tower.
Because I did it last, I was like, yeah, because I did pod basically last.
Also seems like we lost NY Rambler in there somewhere.
Has to be up there, so.
I was convinced it was there, but I would have felt dumb to just skip all these. So what happened with the trackers? If it's not too bad to ask. Actually, no, I shouldn't ask that.
The tracking app just kind of broke down partway through. It made it challenging. We had to all just kind of try to remember who'd done what and who'd collected what.
Yeah, I apologize for bringing attention to technical difficulty, but
No.
I mean, it came up several times.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout outs to our trackers for doing the tracking and helping out in chat after the trackers broke down. Should be heading up Death Mountain to Gan's Tower. So yeah, not what you want to have happen on your tracking, but thank you so much to Dark Diplomat and Irritable Penguin for keeping your cool as the app broke down.
So what happened with the trackers? If it's not too bad to ask. Actually, no.
This is also a good time to remind you to follow our runners who were all partway through. Nice enough to, allow themselves to be restreamed.
I apologize.
Getting on the stage here for us tonight and being nice enough to talk about the seed afterwards. They're all great. Link to the past randomizer runners. So yeah, you should definitely check out their streams. For doing the tracking and helping out in chat after the trackers broke down. So yeah, not what you want to have happen on your tracking, but thank you so much to Dark Diplomat and Irritable Penguin for keeping your cool as the app broke down.
Oh well, thank you guys for the commentary, and I see you all in the next one. Good night.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us. This is also a good time to remind you to follow our runners who were.
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and take my leave. Thanks guys for putting on the show, for
allow themselves to be
tracking as long as you guys could, and for commentating.
Getting on the stage here for us tonight. Yeah, and thank you. Being nice enough to talk about the
good night.
seed afterwards. They're all great. Link to the past random. And so meanwhile, Yalfto decides not to go full right. So yeah, they will have a bit quicker of a GT, not going all the way to Compass Room.
Oh well, thank you guys for the commentary, and I see you all in the next one. Good night.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Take care.
So Yalfto is doing bonking and hookshotting their way across the room south of Stalfos room. They'll get the big 20 from the map chest, but the next chest they open should be the big key, so oops. Didn't quite do it with the boomerang there. And Yalfto collects their big key and will now be heading upstairs. Should be right around the 2-hour mark, I'm guessing. Having a bit of trouble with that red Gorilla there. There we go. Fortunately, with the silver arrows, you don't have to worry too much about running out of arrows. You do have to worry about the arrow getting caught in the Bimo statue. Oh, Yalfto does not take advantage of the arrow refill in that room. I hope they don't miss shots on Ganon then. Nice burn a dash if slightly laggy through that room. And we're on the gauntlet. We apologize for the lack of game audio. It's in with the same technical difficulties that broke the tracker. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Does Yalfto realize their arrow count?
I don't think so.
Well, they take down Landmo. I forget whether there are arrows in the next room. Okay, there are 5 arrows, so Yalfto should be fine for Ganon. Oh, and those whiz robes are nice enough to leave even more arrows. Now we're totally fine.
Right. But it passes up the 10 and takes the 5.
Well, 12 silver arrows should be more than enough for Ganon.
But it's having a little bit of trouble with the whiz robes.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what they have left for potions. They burned a blue potion earlier. Okay, got a couple of hearts off of those. It's kind of funny, you know, you need arrows, the game gives you arrows. You need hearts, the game gives you hearts. Oh! With that fall, Yalto's gonna have to wait for that torch to burn out. And well, in most games, you'd be able to regain your health by powdering an anti-fairy, but well, powder was on the pedestal, so Yalto is not going to have an easy health refill out here and really needs to be careful. But they find that critical 4th piece of heart, and that gives them a full refill.
Ooh, it takes us, and Yalta taking a spill on Lamo. I mean, on Moldon.
Yeah, that's 2 of our runners tonight who got seriously trolled by the troll dorm.
I think this is payback.
Oh, don't poke the troll dorm, you'll enrage him. But down goes Moldorm.
I didn't mean to inflict more of the commentator's curse that we seldom give our runners.
Okay, Aga 2. Just gets one there. Oh, having a bit of trouble. There's another.
Yeah, this fight can be a little tricky to line up.
Slow and steady, just watch your health.
Right.
I think that's at 5 now. Yep, there we go. On to Ganon. Why is he after taking out the Cane of Burner? I guess using invincibility strats on Ganon to try to get through the first couple of rounds quickly. Which means they must have a magic refill, because you wouldn't burn magic like that on the first couple of phases otherwise. Okay, yeah, Burnistrats are laggy, but does mean you're not gonna take damage from those fire bats. Phase 2 is definitely the most annoying phase of Ganon, but we're on to phase 3.
Yep, and he had the blue goo in his pocket.
And phase 4 gets the torch glitch. Doesn't quite get a double there. Oof, come on, Yalto. Ooh, very close to the edge, but Yalto gets it. Down goes Ganon. So get your GGs in for Yalto sticking this out.
Right,
And they will cross the bridge with an official SRL time of 2:02:19, good for 4th place in the restream and 16th place overall. We're just going to wait a minute or two to see if Yalto will be joining us for an interview or not. Sacerdotal, I don't even know what that word is. But it's even harder to pronounce than Sahasrara.
Looks like Sacerdotal.
Okay, Google's our friend. It says that it can be either a soft C or a hard C, and it means relating to priests or the priesthood.
See, the facts that we learn from being up here in the booth and commentating on the.
And looks like we have Yafto in chat, so feel free to ask your questions. And yeah, thanks a lot for being willing to be restreamed tonight. Looks like we've kind of cut the credits though, so I guess on that note we should probably wrap.
Right. And don't forget, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern is our daily race.
It will be another open mode, in fact, so same settings as this race. Channel yet to be announced. And at the same time tomorrow night, 9 p.m., we'll be having a casual race, which means standard mode assured sword. So Link will start out having to rescue Zelda, and will start out with a sword. So makes things a little bit easier on the runners.
Right. And then, as always, on Fridays, we have our Fast Friday. And on Sunday, our Open Weekly, also channel yet to be announced at this point in time.
But that is a good time to remind you, please do follow the Speed Gaming network of families and be family of networks. It's late. And be sure to check out speedgaming.org/schedule to see when everything's scheduled for. We have the main Speed Gaming channel and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. We also have Deutsch, Francais, Espanol, and Portuguese, if you speak any of those languages.
And also our tournament, the randomizer tournament winding down. Where I believe, like I said at the top, I think we're in our closing out the semifinals.
Yeah, apologies to Yalfta. We were having some technical difficulties tonight, so normally when a runner's marked as done, you get an automatic invite for an interview in Discord. I don't know how it was working tonight because the tracker broke, and so we weren't able to mark the runners as done.
Right.
But yes, once again, please do follow all of our runners from tonight. They've got a lot more races in them.
And also,
go ahead.
And also, if you guys are, those of you who are new or want to try out the randomizer as well, the community is a friendly place. They always love helping out new people learn randomizer and everything. So we got a nice community for Link to the Past randomizer as well.
So I guess using that command in chat gives the tournament-specific links, but if you follow those, you should be able to get to the regular randomizer channels as well. And yeah, thanks again to our trackers who dealt with this nasty situation of the tracker breaking midway through the race. And yeah, thanks to my co-com Yoko as well. Great working with you.
Thank you, likewise, as well.
And with that, I think it's about time to sign off for the evening. So have a great night, everyone.
Take care. We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow for more Randomizer. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.